Micro, small, medium enterprises are the focus this week in Nigeria, Africa's largest economy. The federal government of Nigeria is organizing a full week of MSME-related activities in line, with the United Nations General Assembly's declaration of the 27th of June 2021 as World MSME Day. Fourth National MSME Awards will be held on that same day. Oladipo Ajayi, who is the head of fixed income at Chapel Hill Denham, joins us to discuss further. Oladipo, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. I want to first have us take a look at the agenda for this week. What do you think will be discussed during the, national discourse for MSMEs on Thursday? All right, we have Oladipo Ajayi, who is the head of fixed income at Chapel Hill Denham. Oladipo, good morning to you. I want us to take a look at the agenda for this week, for the MSME week. What do you think is going to be discussed at the national discourse segment of this week as we focus on MSMEs?
Yeah, thank you very much, Rotos. Good morning. I think the platform will actually be used to actually show or speak to the policies that the government actually have in their own confine to actually help grow the MSME space in Nigeria. And also, I also think it's going to be a very good opportunity for participants in that space to also state the problems that they're actually going through. And because it won't actually be reasonable for government to just come out and just speak without getting a feedback from people that actually operate in that space. So we're able to understand the problem that's currently affecting that space and see how to actually work with the participants in that space to actually bring a positive impact on the economy.
Thank you so much. The event was advertised on Instagram via Insta blog, which has about 3.6 million followers. Due to the Twitter ban, federal government couldn't advertise there. Is this an opportunity lost in that regard? What do you think?
Well, I think indirectly or directly, there will be opportunity lost in that regard because most of these participants are currently on the Twitter platform. So it would have been easier for the government to actually reach them directly on that platform rather than going through Instablog. But however, it's still a laudable program on the part of the government to actually see what they need to do on how to actually see how they can work together with the participants in that space to see how much they can grow the economy.
Great stuff. Considering you just mentioned, the number of SMEs on social media, do you think the Twitter issue will be a topic at all, or they'll leave that alone?
Like I mentioned earlier, I said I don't expect it to just be a monologue. I expect it to be a dialogue where they also get feedbacks from people operating in that space. So I think part of what the feedback they will likely get is that the current ban on Twitter is currently affecting most of this business that actually that most of these people that actually do businesses on this platform. And as a result of that is also what that would mean is that it will further push more people into that poverty line. So I think it will actually come up in that program.
Thank you so much. What would you say are the most pressing issues facing MSMEs in Nigeria today?
I think one thing that easily comes to mind is infrastructure, and topmost on the list will be power, because most of these people operating in Nigeria, where you need to actually the cost of running electricity is actually outrageous, and as a result, the impact will be that some of their products will not be able to compete with the bigger player are actually shunning out into the market. So most of them easily die as a result of that. So I think infrastructure is key, and I think it will be topmost on the list. Power, road construction, and every other thing, and also finances cannot be on the loop when you talk about MSME, because most of them. For them to actually access finances from banks is always very difficult. And is not connected to the fact that there are some yardstick and some boxes that they need to tick, that you need to tick before you can actually access money from banks. And most of these SMEs, they don't actually have these boxes ticked. So as a result of that, they cannot access some of these finances. So I think it's also a point or a part that I feel the government needs to look at and also work aggressively with the banks on a way to actually ameliorate the issue.
What has insecurity risen to the level of being a top issue faced by MSMEs in Nigeria?
Well, insecurity is affecting everybody, and they also will actually be affected. And I think because what that will mean is that most of them, the input to production, security, they also need to look at that, because most of these people, they actually they participate in the agricultural space, and as a result of that, accessing their farms is very difficult, and also transporting goods from the farm to the final consumer has not been an easy one for them. So I think it will also be on the table for discussion.
How do you think the federal government can increase tax collection from the informal economy, since a number of MSMEs are in that space?
They need to create value. The government needs to create value, because if you can't create value, it will be very difficult for them to actually anything from that space. And what I mean by value is that we have highlighted part of the issue that we feel they're actually currently going through. If the government can find a way to actually resolve some of these issues, doing that, they can actually get data of some of these MSMEs and be able to actually track them and follow up for them to actually repatriate taxes. And I think it's very, very essential for government first to actually touch their hearts before they can ask for their hands.
All right, so creating value, very, very important. I think we got about a minute and a half to go. The World Bank estimates 7 million Nigerians fell into poverty in 2020. How does an increase in poverty affect MSMEs in the country?
Well, one thing, what it will do is that it will affect purchasing power. It will affect the number of people that can actually patronize some of their businesses, and the end result is that that will also affect their businesses, and at the same time, imagine some of them that have maybe 20 people under in their own employments too, they might not be able to keep up with salary, and at the same time, what that will mean is that they will send some of them back to the employment market. The unemployment market. So I think poverty is very key, and that's one of the reasons why the government needs to also work with them very well to see, because it's easier for you to actually lift people out of the poverty line, working both with the MSMEs and the big players, the blue chip companies, for you to actually bring the country out of the poverty line, than just focusing on the blue chip company as a way to actually bring people out of the poverty line.
What about inflation? How about inflation impact on businesses here?
Inflation is about purchasing power. So if the purchasing power drops, of course, that means that the value that you can actually bring to some of these people will reduce. Imagine a 1,500 naira that can buy maybe one bucket of gari now. And used to buy like 3 buckets of gari before now.
We've run out of time, Oladipo. I'll have you back. Thank you so much for your insights. Oladipo Ajayi, head of fixed income trading at Chapel Hill.